Looking for an establishment where value for money and unrivaled services with admirable turnaround time is guaranteed? The Port of Banjul is the perfect place for you. A vital gateway for trade offering connections to numerous global destinations. With improved infrastructure combined with a flexible tariff, the Port of Banjul remains a vital node in maritime trade. Along with its dedicated workforce, efficient service delivery, technology-inspired innovation, and an impressive record in handling all type of cargo, the Port of Banjul is also widely acknowledged as one of the safest ports on the continent with no history of piracy. As a major player in the region's maritime trade, accounting for 90% of all imports and exports, we are more than just a transit point, but a vital cog in the global trade sphere. Come experience a hassle-free fast customs clearance inspired by our simplified trade documentation procedures, safe and efficient cargo and vessel handling. The Port of Banjul offers prompt, reliable and value for money service, and customer satisfaction is guaranteed.
Welcome back. If you'd like to advertise, get in touch with Mr. Jibril Jassi. It's 7 minutes past 9 o'clock. The Minister of Information is back with us. Last week, he wasn't. Actually, I thought I would never say this, but I actually missed you.
I've missed you throughout the program.
welcome back.
Thank you very much.
So what brings you to the program?
Well, today is to give updates and also to refute some misinformation that has been peddling on social media. As a government that is transparent and we feel that we are accountable to the people, we don't only give information in a proactive manner, but we also respond to misinformation. Misinformation which by and large has been peddled with an agenda. The tour is over finally yesterday. We rounded up in Banjul.
When you say finally, it's like you all are tired of it.
No, it's been fun. It's really been fun. And we are going to miss it. It's always been great engaging with the population.
Politicking, comme d'habitude.
Well, politics, you cannot divorce politics from governance. They all go together. You cannot definitely.
But if it's constitutionally mandated, I'm sure it doesn't say you should go unpolitic at the expense of the other parties.
Even the constitution itself is a political document. You cannot, it's through a political process that you get a constitution, and constitution guides how people do politicking. So you cannot really divorce the two, to be honest. And when I hear people say you cannot do politics in this, they don't understand how governance and politics work. You cannot divorce these two. If you tell me that you cannot really engage in partisan politics in a manner in which that's not what we've been doing. We've been really going around talking to the population.
Berating Mandinka voters in the Lower River region for not supporting, the government in power.
No one has berated Mandinka voters. That has never happened.
That's what we read.
No, that is false news. No one has berated Mandinka voters, to be honest. I have not seen anybody berating Mandinka voters.
You voted against Jawara, you voted against Yaya Jammeh, you voted against me. That's not berating the voters?
No, it's not berating the voters. It's discussing a voting pattern which is very consistent. And anybody does that. Even there are scientific studies out there. There are research studies out there. I can share some with you where scientific studies were done and there is empirical evidence in terms of voting pattern in the Gambia. It could be based on religion, it could be based on ethnicity, it could be based on gender.
That is okay in a scholarly discussion, or maybe among you the party, but not going to the people themselves and, telling them to their face.
No, but the president has a right to...
It's like you're chastising them.
No, not chastising them. He was just explaining a voting pattern that is being consistent. Anybody does that. His Excellency, Lawyer Dabo has gone to URR and told the Sarah holders that you are the ones who are emboldening and empowering and consolidating President Baba.
And because Lawyer Dabo has done
that... And nobody has said anything about that. That wasn't a bad thing, because that's his own view of his assessment of a voting pattern. So, everybody has a right to do an analysis of voting pattern. People do that. So, for me, if somebody observes a voting pattern in certain polling stations, which are mostly aligned to a particular ethnicity, and say, okay, this is how they've been voting consistent over the years, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay, and how have Manjago voted over the years?
Well, I have seen some studies. I have seen some studies actually which talked about how minorities vote. Obviously, not specifically.
Manjagos would be in the minority.
Exactly.
So how have the minority voted over the years?
I saw a story was done in 1981, I think 84, 85, done by a very interesting Gambianist scholar, which talks about how he looked at different voting patterns, looked at gender, he looked at even region, how people in Serekunda vote as opposed to rural areas, minorities, Mandinkas, Christians. It's a very interesting study, and I'd like to share that study with you. Now, what has happened is that perhaps it's important for us to replicate that study now, because it was done in the 80s. And at that time, the findings were that gender, ethnicity, region, religion doesn't determine how people vote at that time. That was the findings of that particular study, because he looked at different variables and say whether it could influence how people vote. But the findings were surprisingly that in that time in the 80s, that people were not voting for Jawara based on gender, tribe. They could see that with Jawara, minorities were voting for him, Mandinkas were voting against him sometimes. So the findings said that perhaps it's important for us to do replicate that study now and see whether the pattern has changed. But in the 2016 elections, obviously, scholars have also, analysis of the elections has told us that how perhaps the followers were voting, how they voted, and how the Mandinkas were voting, and how so these are things that scholars discuss, and even journalists discuss. So it's, for me,
but
one thing that is important is that
Adama Barrow is not a scholar.
No, but he's a citizen who has a right to...
He's the president of every Gambian.
Yeah, but he's a citizen who has a right to do an assessment and analysis of the voting pattern of this country. He didn't mean any harm. He wasn't being bitter about it. In fact, he was talking about that he's bringing development to places where people vote against him. He's been saying that.
That's reassuring.
Exactly. He said that even though he's bringing development, in Kiang West, where he was really talking at, he built the road that has not built for since independence. The Kiang West people have been crying for a road. I've used that road before. In fact, I got a tire punctured. My tire got punctured there. And now he's built a road for them.
Now you have cars that would ride on any road without
fear. He's built a brand new hospital, health center for them, fully equipped. He's taken electricity to every village in that place. He's taking water. These people have not really got this basic thing since independence, and he brought it, even though they vote against him. Yeah. So obviously, there was just no harm intended. It was just as a citizen doing an analysis of a voting pattern in a particular area.
But he did that with a view to influencing how they vote in 2026, naturally.
But he's a politician. Obviously, he needs to campaign. He needs to get people to vote for him. That's what his politics is about. You need to get votes, and you need to campaign.
So this was a campaign tour.
I'm not saying that, but it's called the advantage of incumbency. Obviously, incumbent has an advantage. One of these tours is one of those advantages, and any president who sees will use that advantage. Even you, if you're a president, you'll use the tour as an advantage of incumbency.
Me, president, you see me being president? No way. What other things out there on social media?
It's about the Africa 50 asset recycling of the bridge. There is some misinformation that according to the concession agreement, I think one Dr. Gajigo said that the agreement says
he didn't say that here, though.
No, not here, but if you can permit me to just respond to that, saying that based on the concession agreement...
The best thing usually is to go to, the medium.
Where he said it.
Exactly.
Well, if you wouldn't permit me, I can stop. But
because that's already that audience is there.
Yes, but
you understand.
I understand, but I think also if there is misinformation out there, if you can give us a chance to really clear it out, no harm intended. It's just to bring the facts out.
So what are the
facts? Are that he claimed that based on the concession agreement, nobody can be allowed to build a bridge in the Gambia for the next 15 years to protect the concession agreement, and which is not true as well. It says that within 50 meters radius of the Senegambia bridge, a bridge cannot be built there, but this excludes the Banjul Bara bridge. It means that at any time, if there is resources, Banjul Bara bridge can be built, even with this concession going on. But also at the same time,
that's okay, just forget about it.
Nobody can build it within this 50 kilometers radius of the current bridge. Obviously, this is for competition purposes. So not that the statement that nobody can build any bridge in the Gambia for the next 15 years, which is also not
Is that how it is, put in the contract?
Of course, and that contract is available. It's a public document. We are going to upload it on our website. Anybody who wants to see it can go and see it.
You are only uploading after this criticism.
Well, it's not my job to have uploaded it. This would have been a public document. It's a public document.
And
And also now we have the ATI, the access to information. I think anybody can access documents, request for them, and they'll be given to you, rather than making statements which might not be true statements. What we are saying is that, like I said, we have a very transparent government.
Madi Jobate will be kicking himself in the heels hearing you say that we have ATI, anybody can request for information. He wrote to 6 institutions, including the Office of the President for Information. I mean, the best he received was acknowledgement from GPA and what's the other institution? Gambia Tourism Board. Saying they were unable to divulge the information, he's requested.
Well, I cannot speak on that. I'm not aware of this. Obviously, I cannot speak on something.
So stop touting the ATI. It hasn't started working.
Well, it's people can. The law is on. If you request for information, we'll provide that information.
He's requested for information from the Office of the President. How Barrow got the, is it 57 pickups that you criticized that he gave to National Assembly members?
Well, I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure about what?
About that about he making that request. We have not received that request.
Okay. Madi, maybe, you should send a copy of your request to OP to Ismaila to see that, you don't say things you haven't done. Yes, what else?
Other thing is that the legality of the tour. I've seen people questioning that the tour is a constitutionally mandated tour.
Yeah, but everybody says that. All media houses say that.
So also support for farmers.
No,
I've seen.
What they probably question is how the tour is used.
The tour is used as it's supposed to be used. That is meeting the people,
as a political platform?
No, it is not a political platform per se. It's not a partisan political platform. Obviously, like I said, you cannot divorce politics from it. I mean, you start in a platform, it's political.
That's what people criticize.
Yeah, but
there is too much politics. In fact, sometimes you think it's an entirely political, activity.
Yeah, but what do you expect? I mean, the president was talking.
We don't expect it to be politicized the way it is.
It's not politicized as people claim, as it is. What the president has been saying is talking to the people of the Republic of the Gambia, and people responding and telling him their concern. So for me, I think those accusations are misguided.
When he sets out just after the end of the rainy season, he's going there hopefully to hear about the problems of predominantly farming communities.
That is what we did.
Not to go there and be talking to them about Usainu Dabo, for heaven's sake.
But that is what he did. The president was there to talk to farmers. But if Usainu Dabo also makes statements during his tour, which we think...
What statement did Usainu Dabo make during the tour that he was responding to?
He said the president consumes $150,000 a day for his upkeep, which is a misrepresentation of the facts.
How much does the president consume daily?
No, but this 4 million they're talking about includes state banquets, includes when guests come to State House, includes the
question
OVP.
Is how much does the president consume daily, if it is not 150 million or whatever?
Based on the calculations, nothing more than, including the state gas and everything, nothing more than $30,000.
36.
Okay, $36,000 is thereabout. But that's what I'm saying. So which means the 150,000 is way off. And that includes an entire state house with the state guards, with the office of the vice president, with all this protocol, everything. It's a big office. So saying 150,000, which is not the case. So therefore, we need to respond to that. That is the fact. And also about the farmers, saying that the government has neglected farmers. No, what the government has spent on farmers last year alone, it's a lot. 1.5 billion in subsidies for fertilizer, seeds in hundreds of millions of dollars. They are ground at $38, which is highest in the sub-region. In fact, government buys it at $38 from farmers and sells it at $20. The government is losing $18 per kilo.
Sells it to who at $20?
To the world market.
$20?
Of course.
Why is
we subsidize it because if you want to sell to the farmers what prevails in the world market, farmers will not make money. So what government does is that buys from farmers at $30 and subsidizes $18 for farmers. And wow. this is the fact. Government loses $18,000 per ton. They buy from farmers because Senegal is selling for $35. We're selling for $38. Is the highest in the sub-region because we want the farmers to reap the benefits of their hard work. That is why I buy from for $38,000 per ton and sell it at $20. That is the prevailing market price, global market price.
Oh, wow.
If government wants to impose the global market price, farmers will get it for less than $20 per ton, per kilo, which will not be favorable to farmers. So these are the facts. And also we've distributed $116 million to farmers through the Giraffe project. farmers into cashew, into small ruminants. Some get 500,000, 600,000 across the country. $116 million to support farming in this country.
Okay, I'm just waiting for you to, finish.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Somebody sent me a message which I forwarded to you. I don't know whether you've read it about NAWEC.
Yes, I spoke with NAWEC this morning. The concerned staff have been suspended pending investigation. The police are currently investigating. The treasurer was on probation. He's been sacked with immediate effect because he's on probation. But the finance director has been suspended pending investigation into the matter.
Okay, all right. Somebody just sending in a question which you have answered already. Is the contract agreement between Gambia government and Africa 50 on the asset recycling of Senegambia Bridge a confidential information document for cabinet's eyes only?
It is not.
I think you've said that it will be uploaded.
It will be uploaded in the website.
Please ask the Honorable Minister why Gambians with dual nationality with U.S. passports clearly indicating Gambian nationality are harassed and charged $200 visa at Yundum Airport.
$200 visa?
$200 visa.
But if that's what the law says, they should not be harassed. They should just pay it, if that is what the law says. I'm not sure about what the law in terms of visas for American citizens, but if the law says that as an American citizen, if you have to receive a visa upon entry, is $200.
Okay.
But if that is not what the law says, that should not happen clearly. That is not government policy.
Kindly put on your headphones for me, please. And sorry for doing this. Usually, I just take text messages, but this is somebody with visual impairment. And for the past month or so, he's been trying to talk directly to you. Jeng, nyungla bismillah ci suba si.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Jeng.
Minister Ceesay.
Mu ne salam.
maa ngi lay nuyu.
Fine, maa ngi fay naa la bu baax.
Man pensionnel la.
Waaw.
ñun pensionnels ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi receive suñ pension, government pension monthly. Some of us ñu ngi receive less than $2,000. Less than $2,000. ñii $2,000 because ñi daan am $1,000 in 2018 ñu yokkal leen 100%. Fi mu nekk ñu ngi am $2,000. $1,000 100% am is another $1,000 muy $2,000.
Wow.
Boobu di highest sax ñii 900 ñii 700. $900 percentage am naka la ñu 100% am soo ko définir dafay war a nekk naka la $800.
Dëgg la.
Waaw loolu mun na jënd sax benn saako maalo bo 50 kilos bag of rice mënu ko jënd da nga nekk jaboot ñoom government foog naa da ngeen defoon a little mistake in 2018 bi ñuy def increment of 100% of which was very appreciated. Why? Koo xam ne kii civil servant senior civil servant will receive naka lañ ko waxati monthly pension of $8,000 or $10,000 sax nga yokkal ko 100%. Fi mu nekk presently kooku leen mu ngi fekkee ne $8,000 la daan receive mu ngi receive $16,000. Ni ngeen waroon a def kay mooy ngeen ajos ñi nga xam ne ñu ñii di si $700, $1,000 and so forth ñoom ñëpp ngeen yóbbu leen ñu mun a jënd benn saako maalo boobu.
Ok.
Joboot soo amee saako maalo problème am jeex na parce que maalo bi loo ko xasee am loo toog rek ni joboot gi lekk waaye soo mënut a jënd saako maalo amuloo doo ko jëndee amaan bi nga téye mënu ko nga nekk su ko defee am na ñu soona de loolu nag lañ doon ñaan government président bi comme yow yaay di minister of naka lañ koy information nga informe ñu ko ne nañ ajos ñooñu leen ñu mun a jënd benn saako maalo at the end of the month su ko defee njaboot gi mun a lekk.
baax na Jeng
parce que saako maalo mi soo ko amee soo jëndee soo cuuraayee lekk soo mbaxalee lekk.
dëgg la Jeng waaye waxtoo ñu xaw a jàmbu nag rek jërëjëf. yes
waaw bég naa di ko masaw coono ñëpp ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si situation bii nii dinaa ko jotali government bi ñu gestu mbir bu baax a baax xam naa ne salaries restructuring increment buñ def ni in January. I'm not sure that affect na pensioners yi. Affect ko. Then we need to look at that. But xam naa ne moom within the core civil service, the same thing lañ def comme lu ma wax ni mooy ne ñu nekk si lower grades yi seen boss lañ gën a increase than ñu nekk si higher grades yi, because dañ realize ne for us to bridge the gap in terms of inequality bi diggante ñu am ak ñu amut foog ñu def loolu. moo tax soo seetee salary increase this time is average 30%, am na ñu am 60% ñu nekk si lower kii am na ñu am 15% ñu nekk si kaw. ba dinaa wax ak government bi naa jotali message bi to government ñu gestuwaat mbiri pensioners yi bu baax a baax a baax a baax.
biñ doon wax mbiri getting carried away. But while we were talking about the presidential meet the people tour, during the course of it, a truck was reportedly intercepted, Senegalese truck, full of fertilizer. What's the story behind that?
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't really investigate that. I didn't find out, so I cannot really speak on that. I just saw the news that a Senegalese truck was intercepted with fertilizer. It could be anything. It could be, to be honest, I don't know, and I cannot speak on that. I don't want to misinform the public.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We have
but again, like I said, the average 30% is to create. There were imbalances in the salary scale in this country, and this problem seeks to solve. And I think we need to give credit to this government. Since 2018, we've increased salaries by 110%, which is unprecedented globally. 110%, first 50, then 30, and now average 30. And this average 30, it means that now there are those who will get 60% increment, those are the lower cadre of the civil service, and then those up to 15%. And this is good. And I've heard the lawyer Dabo during his tour saying that this is not good for the economy because of increased inflation. No, what this will do is to give people purchasing power. Even John Maynard Keynes, a famous economist, says that if government wants to boost growth, and when there is stagflation or stagnation, you need to pump money into the economy, either through infrastructural development, capital investment, or increasing cost of labor, so that when people have earning power, when they spend, then the businesses will sell. When businesses sell, then factories production will be boosted. So this is good for the Gambia. That is why Gambia's economy has been doing fairly well because of service, but also investment in capital investment. But also remember, inflation has gone down from 18% to almost 8%, and the target by the central bank is 5% in the medium term. Well, of course,
8%.
Yeah, now yes. Inflation has gone down from 18% to 8%.
8%.
Of course. Oh. And the target by central bank is 5% in medium term. But also remember, our country is growing. Growth is going to be 6% by end of 2025, going toward 2026. And so the economy is growing. Remember also, what this government has done in terms of electricity expansion, it has never happened. It's unprecedented. Over 200,000 meters has been deployed within 7-8 years, compared to 193,000 between the First and the Second Republic. In terms of water supply, so basic services, you go to places where they've never had roads, electricity, hospital, school, water. Since independence, this government, under His Excellency's leadership, they now have water, they have electricity, they have schools, they have roads, they have hospital. It means that there's an explosion of development. This happens nowhere in the world at the same time in every sector. Normally other sectors will focus on this, thinking that there will be no effect, but His Excellency now has a policy which there's an explosion of development where in every sector moving at the same time. That is why our economy is doing well. Tourism is also growing, the dollar is stabilizing, food prices are also stabilizing, and I think this is partly due to good fiscal and monetary policy.
I read a headline in the Gambia Daily on Monday yesterday that got me worried. You have a new bill coming.
Yes.
On broadcasting. What's in this bill?
Well, remember, we had one bill called the IC Act.
Yes.
Information Communication Act. Then the Ministry of Information and Ministry of Communication were one. When they were unbundled, obviously, that act is not fit for purpose anymore. So we need to have a bill that reflects our new mandate as a ministry. It should not get you worried. We're not here to stifle on press freedom. We just want to have a bill that reflects our mandate.
Is this a promise?
Of course, yes. Obviously,
are you promising
you will be part of, you are a critical stakeholder. During the validation period, you'll be there to have your inputs in this bill. We don't want to, we've set a precedent as a country.
What does it seek to do for me?
It seeks to ensure that you practice freely, and that
I'm already doing that.
But to ensure more, because you remember also, His Excellency President allows press freedom. He doesn't disturb the press. But remember, we don't know what happens in 15, 20, 30 years down the line. Leaders come and go, but laws stay. when you have good laws, no matter which leader comes, those laws and institutions stay.
Bring back
And also,
bring back the 2020 draft, and the protection of the media.
but it's
guaranteed
currently in fact, this law we've brought to Parliament, the 2024 draft, is one of the best you can get in the continent.
Yeah. So why come up with a bill if it's in that a draft?
No, but you need also an act.
I'm very suspicious. I have to be very honest with you.
No, don't worry.
I'm very suspicious.
I can tell you that it is also ensuring that you are economically viable. We are going to find ways to ensure we support the media and financially as well. It's going to be in the bill, whether it is through it is through subvention or whether other means. So it's to have an innovative, forward-looking.
Senegal does it.
That's what I'm saying.
They have more than doubled what they've ever given to the media this year.
It's going to be forward-looking and progressive and make sure that we have a media that is vibrant, that is a partner to government, that is safe and secure, that is also economically viable. So don't worry about that. We're also working on a communications policy, which ensures that communication between the government and the public is regulated, but also within government, so that there is seamless communication and also there are no gaps in terms of communication. So we're coming with these two documents next year.
You've promised this visually impaired person that you will transmit his message to the president.
Of course I will, personally.
Okay.
I will transmit to the president, I'll transmit to the sector minister responsible, and we'll make sure that something is done on this issue because it's a very important issue for us. The president has a policy, has a vision to ensure inclusive prosperity. He doesn't want to leave any Gambian behind. No Gambian should starve in this country. No Gambian should go without having food in this country, and no Gambian should go without having access to
If it's all about inclusivity, you've given 6, 7, 8 million to 7 institutions. When am I getting my share of the thing?
Well, inclusivity means that it's by phases. Next phase will be included.
Ismaila, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Ceesay. He's the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services.